Fine. Alright. Let's do this again. Boop. And we come through here. It's interesting that I have a sum of best already when I don't even have a best. Well, that was silly of me.
Huh?
Should have just been patient on that one. Or when I haven't done more than one run, I guess is what I'm saying about the sum of best. Because I understand what it's trying to do. Take all of your best times and say if you get your best time on all of the things, here's what it could be. But that's not a thing that I've done yet. I have one completed run. Ah, well. Boop. Boop. Nope. Nope. Missed that. Ah. That was... This is the one big time sink that I was hoping to avoid. Because I can. If I just don't do stupid, then I can get past this. Without having to take this whole long way around. You know what? We're only a minute in. Let's start over. Let's start over and not fail that one. And try and not have to take that back road and all the way back up. That's probably going to always be my biggest reset point of this. Because, honestly, once I get past that first room, I won't care enough to try and start over again. I realize it's only like a minute or so difference beyond that into the next area, but I don't want to. I'm also looking at some of the time on these splits, and I could combine more things or split some things up more, but I kind of like where they are right now. To me, it feels like a perfectly logical progression of stuff. So again, I just kind of made up on my own where I wanted these things to be, and if there is a thought of a better way, then please do share them, because I'm by no means an expert in this. This is just what I wanted to run, so I had to come up with something. And initially I came up with just like complete joke names, and I was like, maybe other people might at some point theoretically want to run this, and so I should just come up with something more descriptive. Though, I guess anybody who wants to run this can put their splits wherever the heck they want, but I did purposely choose not to go for the jokes and go for some more descriptive split names instead. Alright, I think that's already one advantage to having regular Noctis rather than Chibified, is that spot there, I feel like because the Chibi version looks much bigger, but his hitbox I think is the same, I feel like that might be part of the reason why I missed that switch my last run.
Ah, d'accord.
Take the head, come over here, switch the camera angle around, self-whiplash, come on up here. Again, this can't be what the original architects intended. To get through this door, you have to break the statue. Well, how does the next person get through the door? Don't worry about it. It's fine. But is it, though? I said it's fine. Okay.
Voilà.
That's a big personal bugbear I will always have with... I was jumping on that like it was already spinning. I forgot a step there. I will always have with video games that create ridiculous architecture just for the sake of it looking interesting. It's like, that's not practical. Maybe think about how actual human beings would ever have to use this space. And surprisingly, most of Final Fantasy XV is actually fine in that regard. The the architecture of the buildings, the way they're put together in the game, is actually like, no, I can see how this would be used by human beings. Unlike other games, where they just build whatever. Oh, yeah, that was way too late. It was like I was expecting it to stop for me, and it was like, I'm not the one that stops. I'm the one who knocks. Wait, no. I haven't ever actually watched that show. Alright, this one's stopping, which is a blessing and a curse, because it does mean that it'll have a slightly easier time. I should have had a slightly easier time aiming that. But it also means that it obviously moves slower as I go up. Let's... boop. There we are. Nope, nope, nope. Missed that. Got distracted. Got distracted, wasn't paying attention. Completely missed my window there. Is this guy slowing down? Feels like this guy might be slowing down. There it is. Boop. Okay, great. With that. So it took me a little bit longer to get through the ball that time than the first time, but overall I'm ahead because of not failing the first room so hard. Alright. Now, one thing that I will have as I come into the side rooms here is the skip in the fourth room being slightly simpler, because I will be aiming at a different point. Thank you, Schneff. Shenef? Shenef? Schneff? I don't names well. I don't names well at the best of times. Alright. Let's see if I can... Nope. Double dope. There we are. I should get a bit of a running start on that one. But once we're past it, the rest of the room is relatively easier. Assuming that I don't fail. Oh, ooh, that was close. Oh, no! Oh, landed right on the spikes because they were still deployed. There we are. Ah. Now there are no more spikes, it's just actually jumping correctly and not falling to my death. Let's see how we do. Then we come across to this room. What? What was that? Why did that happen? I assume I got caught by an errant spike, but I thought I was definitely far enough out of the way for that to not be an issue. I don't know. It is kind of sad that the areas that I like the most are the ones that I'm already good at, which means that I get through them quicker and don't spend a lot of time there. Is this a jump? This is a jump. Okay. That might be how I have to do this next one. I think, I don't know, I think, based on my previous run, that I might be able to get this first try if I do it right. Yes! Nice! That is the first time that I've hit that first try, and that makes me very happy. Because it means that I have, it means that I have a strategy now, where previously I just had blind hope. Okay, so what if I do just kind of take off this way and... Nope, too soon. You also didn't see a spike there, yeah. It happens. Games have bugs. Final Fantasy 15 is definitely no exception to that. Perfect. Ah, nice. Very nice. thank you again for that thought, that hint, that trick. Because boy howdy, is that going to make this whole room just much less painful in the future. Now, I thought these were evenly spaced out, but it appears not at all. Oh no, why did I do that? That was just silly. That was just standing straight up and walking directly into a spike. And then failing that jump that I just said was much simpler. Which, admittedly, it is. I'm just, you know, getting ahead of myself a bit. Alright, wait for this to slowly come by. So, are there only 3 platforms? There may only be 3 platforms. Or there may actually be the 4 platforms that I thought. They're just not as close to each other as I felt like they were. Top right up on here, wait for it to come by. I do wonder why they put the hole in the middle of them there, though. Alright. Come up here. And again, we're in the slightly safer part of the room. As long as I don't miss these jumps, everything's good. Or I guess with the theory of positive reinforcement, when I make all of these jumps perfectly, we will be past this room. Which is a much different way of saying the same thing. Oh. I'm pleased with how quickly I was able to get that jump. Normally that takes me 2 or 3 tries. The fact that I got that first try is very nice. Because it didn't feel like a fluke. That felt like I knew what I was doing. Sometimes if it's first try, but it feels like a fluke, it's not as nice. It's like, well, I hope I get that again next time. But when it's first try and it feels like I knew what I was doing the entire time, mwah. Which I assume is what speedrunning is supposed to be. Is all these things that feel like flukes the first time, you figure out how you did it. And then you do it again, and again, and again, and again. And everything just comes into place and feels amazing. Why? That was weird. That was a weird spot to be. For the camera to be. Not used to not being able to see where the legs are, which is kind of an essential point of a platformer. See where you can put the legs. I might be able to make that if I try harder. I can definitely make this, though. This is easy to make. So yeah, this is the specific spot that I was thinking about when I switched to regular Noctis, because the camera it works so much nicer there when I don't have a giant character model. Imagine, the game works when it's using the models that it was built with, rather than something that you mod in, even if it is an official mod. I don't think I'm going to get this first cycle. Oh, maybe. Aha, I did. This is where I always tense up, as I mentioned earlier, because I have failed right here, which is really annoying, because it's... Don't! Jinxed it. And I didn't open up any of the side passages either, so I had to go all the way through this again. I want there to be a way that I can get there fast enough that I don't have to wait for it to come back and forth. Oh, wow. Yeah, you're right. 4-minute split on the side rooms. I didn't even notice that. Is fantastic. Again, thank you very much for the different way of thinking. That basically is the only reason that that is as short as it is, and not just a series of me trying and failing to get that. I love this hand here, because it's almost just here so that you can't try and jump over, and you know that you can't try and jump over because it'll just knock you clean out. You have to wait for this to come back and take this little beam across. That's probably why it is there, is they found that in testing this, a lot of people are like, I should be able to jump across this. Why can't I jump across this? Well, you're not supposed to. You're supposed to take this thing around. Let's make that more obvious by putting a hand here that's just like, nope, denied. Alright. I didn't open the face door again, so I hope that that won't be an issue. Not I hope. I should be, again, the power of positive thinking. Oh, I shall complete this time. It will gladly be completed. I just need to do a little less falling off of ledges. It'll be great. Let's jump for that ledge. There. And I can open this door so that if something happens, which, let's be honest, I'm really good at making things happen. I actually have no idea what I meant with that. Yeah. So I am eating away at any, at whatever, time, well, advantage I had by having to do that room twice, but it's kind of the way speedrunning works, it seems. Get gold splits some places, and get really bad red splits others, and it all evens out in the end. Here, wait for the whole thing to come back. Nope. Oh, good heavens. I thought that I had gone way too soon there. I am really glad that that worked as well as it did.
Ça fait quoi là? Comment je fais pour revenir?
All right. Still 3 minutes ahead of the last one, which is good. Hoping I can make it up in here, actually, because I feel like I had a stumble in here the first time. I feel like I might have had two in here the first time. Which, this room is odd. The perspective does scary and annoying things to your eyes. But once you have the route in mind, once you know what the route is, I feel like it's fairly straightforward. Just have to, obviously, you know, not fall. Or one just has to. I just have to. I find that I use the you pronoun far too often. I'm actively trying to avoid that. Because, well, most people understand what it means. It's still just kind of, in general, bad taste to ascribe thoughts, feelings, and motivations onto the listener that they themselves don't have. No, don't fall. Okay, we're good. Come up here, and down into here, down around here, here. Oh, nope, slipped it. Dang. Doing so good. And just kind of lost sight for a second. Now, there was that face door there that would help skip a chunk of this, but it's just so darn far out of the way that I think it's honestly faster to just have to redo it in the case of a fall. Like, I'm fairly certain the face door is just on the other side of this. I think if I come down this way, that's where the door is. I found it once, and that's the only time I ever cared to find it. Because, again, it's so far out of the way that one doesn't come across it in the regular traversal of this room. oh, well, be careful there. Moving nice and slow, except when you suddenly don't, and that scares me, Noctis. I'm not gonna lie. It is strange how... Oh, well, that's just annoying and sad. It is kind of strange, the relationship between the player and Noctis in this, because he is definitely his own character. There are sure sometimes when there are some dialogue choices that can be made that might inform kind of what parts of his character, but in general he just is who he is. And so although we control him throughout the entirety of Final Fantasy XV, we don't have direct control of anybody else. We don't even have we don't have really any control of anybody else. I guess we can tell the boys when to use their techniques, but that's about it. But it's clear that Noctis is not you, the player. He's not an empty slate that the player can draw themselves into. He is his own character, his own person. And so it almost feels like controlling him in general, you're just issuing suggestions and hoping he follows them, and most of the time he does, and then sometimes he just randomly takes a step that you weren't expecting and falls off a ledge. I find it works the same for me in combat as well. I'm really bad at combat in this game, Final Fantasy XV combat. Part of the reason that I don't... I'm not actively looking to speed run the game proper, because the combat in it is a level of exactness that I just don't understand. And so I just kind of hammer the attack button and hope that Noctis kills the thing that I'm pointing him at. Which, you know, is effective enough, I guess. Alright, split. Not entirely sure where the light's supposed to be coming from here. Obviously, yes, there's a flashlight that he's wearing that's producing some light. But there's also obviously light coming from other places. Like, that flashlight is not lighting up the entire left side of the screen at the moment. So what is? I don't know. I'm probably thinking too much into it. I have a tendency to do that. But like I said, architecture and such in these games is something I think about quite often. Alright, let's not fumble at the end here. Nope, fumbled at the end. Maybe I shouldn't say anything and then I'll be less likely to. I don't know. Get up, get up, get up. Nope, not fast enough. Wait for a full rotation here. It is a weird thing how cycle-based this game, this dungeon is, and yet how little control you have over making those cycles because of the recovery animation whenever Noctis falls too far. There, made that. Got caught up in the same spot as last time though, so... Gold split, though. That's still nice. Basically the exact same timing as last time. That doesn't surprise me. But if I get this in one, because last run there were just two stupid mistakes that... I had it the first time, and then I made a kind of silly mistake. And then the second time, I, again, don't really know what was going on there. But not having to go through this 3 times should make up quite a bit of time for us here. Oop, let's not fall.
Mais c'est n'importe quoi!
One of like 3 spaces where Noctis actually talks. Which is part of what makes this dungeon so interesting, is it's just so atmospheric. Or that the I guess it's not atmospheric because there's no atmosphere. The atmosphere is null. The atmosphere is made entirely of the grinding of whatever machinery there is and the music that plays, with sometimes some input from Noctis. Which I guess is atmospheric in its own way. It's kind of a very lonely atmosphere, which you don't find elsewhere in the game. Because elsewhere in the game, you're surrounded by your friends. Or Noctis is surrounded by his friends, however you want to think about it. I'm going to just kind of hang out here on her shoulder, because if I try and move right now, I will probably fall off and end up having to redo everything again. Why am I faced this way? Come down. You try and take this as in the middle as possible. Nice. Another gold split. 2 minutes faster than the previous. Very nice. 2.5 minutes faster than previous. This makes me happy. So let's see how quickly I can do scaffold here. Because it's definitely not my most clean. Which is that? Oh, the fall into the elevator seems risky because it takes nearly all of the health out. Yeah. But that is the way the dungeon is designed, and I feel like they designed the fall damage there so that rather than an actual number, it's always going to be a percentage, a high percentage of your health. Because that is... yeah, the slide into the drop, yeah. So that is definitely working as intended. It just seems like the intention, you're right, the intention there is definitely meant to make you feel in danger. Your health is not safe. Alright. That was a first try scaffold, which I believe is the first time I've ever done that, and that makes me really happy. 54 seconds faster than the previous. Let's not wander off in the wrong direction. We need to go over here. So this is the area that the any percent can get to ahead of time by using the movement exploits, and then uses a couple other things to get from here immediately to the end without having to traverse the other 2 or 3 pads that I'm going to be hitting. What was fun there is, out of the corner of your eye, or out of the corner of my eye, I guess, I could see the next 2 pads I need to hit. The white pad that opens up the platform that gets to the orange pad that is the next one that we're supposed to hit. And you just kind of have to leave them behind because you can't quite reach them yet. Now, theoretically, there are actually multiple skips that could skip this entire section of the dungeon up in here. But this is one of my favorite spots in the dungeon, as I think I mentioned earlier. Probably, again, because I've put so much time into getting it correct. And so I don't want to skip it, which is part of why I consider it, its own room, its own space, apart from the kind of this space here, which is the upper space of this other room. Because if I consider it that way, then when I'm doing an any or an all rooms run, I have to go in there. And I want to go in there anyway, so build a category that takes me in there. Alright, let's see if I can land this and not jump off of it. Nice. Nice, 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 nice. That'll save me a ton of time. Assuming again that I don't just completely flub up. Right there. Completely flub up right there. Basically. That was the only option, and boy howdy did I just absolutely 100% take it. Oh, bother. A lot of backtracking now.
Trop facile. Trop facile. Trop facile.
Basically, what I'm learning is that I have a tendency to jinx myself, and I should just kind of keep my mouth shut sometimes. And, you know, I'll probably be happier for it. Or I just need to find other backups that aren't just going back and redoing this whole section. Like, there probably is something that could be done. But... but this is the only way I've ever found to get up on this door. Which again is the only way I've ever found to get... Oh, no, 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 no. Well, that was... annoying. Well, dang it. I'm just unhappy now. Again, that door is, this is the only path I've ever found to get on top of that door, which is the only path I've ever found to get to the orange button. That is the next one I need to press. Button, plate, sigil, whatever. Button actually seems more accurate than plate. Even though they are quite large. Nope. What's that? Interesting. This is what happens when I get flustered. I start... Nope. Start misclicking and not being able to control things properly. So I'm really pleased that I was able to make the jump onto that button all 3 times, and that what's been tripping me up hasn't been that jump, because I'm real bad at that jump. Or I have, in the past, had issues with that jump. I guess is how I should say that. And so not having issues with that jump is really nice. Now this is the intended route, and I almost wonder... It's faster to go an unintended route, because there is another way to get onto these pillars here. In fact, there's a way to get onto them early, but because, again, that whole area that I don't want to skip, I don't take it. I'm not currently taking it, I guess I should say. When did I get over here? Not entirely sure. Now I can come on up here, over here, over here, over here, here. Hit this button, ride the elevator up. It's daytime because that's just kind of the way this save works. Pick that up, and that's it. Ow. 5 minutes, 15 seconds faster, which is, for the second full second timed run of that to just take 5 minutes clean off immediately. That feels good to me.
Si, mais c'était un truc de fou. Ah, je suis trop crevé.
Bravo.